Hello, this is Brad. I am one of your consumer technology specialists here at Mid-Continent Public Library, and welcome back to our Windows Widgets series. Today, we will be looking at the Windows Photos app. This is the default program in which all photos open in Windows. The Photos app can be used to edit photos using cropping features, filters, some photo adjustment tools, and even some fun 3D visual animation effects. We will look at each of these in our video today. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to start out by navigating to the Windows Photos icon. It's this little mountain scene right here. If you didn't have it saved to your taskbar, you can go to your Start menu. You could scroll down until you find it, or if you wanted to, you can click one of these letters. It takes you to this alphabetical menu and press the letter P. That will show us all of the apps that start with the letter P, and there we see Photos app right there. We could also search for it in the search bar if we didn't see it there. So let's go ahead and open the app and get started with editing some photos. Here we see all the photos that I have uploaded to this computer. They sort them chronologically by the date they were taken. You can see the little timeline over there on the right-hand side. It just helps you to keep your photos organized that way. So you can kind of search through them by date. Our photos are currently displayed in the medium-sized icon. We do have options to look at them in the large icon, which is this button right here. You can see the photos are just a little bit larger. We also have a smaller option as well. We are going to keep it in medium view today. Let's go ahead and click one of these photos and get started with editing. Here is our individual photo view. We can look at this photo. We also have arrows on the right-hand side that we can use to scroll through all of our photos. There's a back arrow on the left-hand side as well. Let's go ahead and fix this photo. Obviously, it's upside down. It's a little crooked. Now, the first thing we're going to do is press the Edit Image button. That is the first workspace we're going to be looking at. And to rotate this photo, we have a button over on the right-hand side. This is Rotate. And this will rotate our photo 90 degrees clockwise. Let's do it one more. There we go. That looks better. It's still a little bit crooked, and so in order to fix that, I can use the straightening tool. I'm going to slide it to the right, which is going to skew it slightly so that it will correct my photo and make it more level. We also have a flip tool over here, which just flips the photo to make it a mirror image of itself. You can see it flipped it over so everything is backwards now. I'm going to change it back. And let's go ahead and look at our cropping options. I want to crop the pen out of this photo. Let's try the square cropping option and see what that does. Maybe let's take a look at the 3x2 cropping and see what that does. It makes it longer. We also have an option to do custom cropping, and this will allow us to click and drag to crop the area we want. There we got the pen out of there. And let's just kind of focus in on the astronaut. There we go. There are lines within the cropping box to help us keep everything level and balanced. When I want to save, I press Save a Copy. If I went to this drop-down and pressed Save, that would actually modify my original photo. And in a lot of instances, you may not want to do that, and so saving a copy is a safer bet. If you pressed Save, you would just want to be really sure that you wanted to keep all those changes. See, here is my saved copy of the original photo, and if I go back, we see my saved photo right next to my original right there. Saving a copy is just a good idea because that way we can go back and look at both photos and maybe keep the one we want and delete the one that we do not. Let's take a look at another photo here and take a look at another feature of the Photos app. I want to point out that we do have this rotate button here, which does the same thing as the rotate button we saw earlier. So you don't have to go into the edit image workspace to rotate a photo. You could rotate it from this screen right here. Also on this screen, we have an option to do a full screen view of our photo. And we can go back to our other screen by pressing this button right there. We can also zoom in to our photo. This will show us the actual size of our photo, which is quite large. And we can use these magnifiers to zoom in very close. It goes all the way to 5,000% or zoom out. I just want to point out that zoom in does not actually edit the photo. We're just looking in closer at it. Let's go ahead and go back to the edit image workspace and take a look at some other features we can use within this area. We're going to look at filters next, which is that middle button. Filters are really popular nowadays on social media or other platforms, and they just kind of add a fun, artistic look to your photo. They just kind of give it some different coloration. This one's kind of black and white looking. They're just kind of fun. And we have a pretty good variety of them here. If we want to change the filter intensity, we have a slider at the top. If we slide to the right, it makes that filter more intense. And if we slide to the left, it makes it a little more subtle. And once we find a filter that we like, we can go ahead and click on it, and then we will press Save a Copy. And just like earlier, this is not going to modify our original photo. It is just going to make a copy of that photo and save it with these changes that we have applied. Here is our new photo with that filter we applied to it, and I will scroll back to show you our original photo. See, there it is. It's not modified in any way. Let's go ahead and take a look at the light feature that we have available to us within the Edit Image button that allows us to lighten up photos that may have a darkness to them or shadowing that we want to try to correct. There's some darkness here I want to kind of lighten up, and I'm going to go to the Edit Image button. And now I'm going to go to the last icon, which is the Adjustments icon. And we're going to mess with the light of this photograph. I have a scroller here. If I scroll to the right, it brightens up my photo. And if I were to go to the left, it would darken the photo. I also can fine-tune this with this drop-down menu. I have sliders for contrast and exposure and highlights and shadows. Now, I don't claim to be a photo editor expert, so for me, I would just be kind of messing around with these sliders until I got the photo to a spot that I liked it. This is just a great reminder of why it is good to save a copy in case some of your modifications don't end up as you thought they might. And so let's go ahead and save a copy of this. And just another reminder, this is not going to modify our original photo. It is just going to create a copy of it. So if we wanted to go back and tweak that photo, we have not invested all our time on those changes we made. Let's take a look at another photo, and there is other options we have within that adjustments area that we can apply to a photo. So let's go back to the Edit Image button, and we're going to navigate to the Adjustments icon one more time. And now we can look at the options we have for modifying color. We have this slider for color. If I slide to the right, it will brighten my color. If I slide to the left, it will lessen my color. See, on the very left-hand side, it's just black and white, basically. I also have drop-downs for tint and warmth underneath that I can use to kind of give my photo a different feel with its coloring. With the warm, if I slide it to the right, it makes the photo warmer, and if I slide to the left, it adds sort of a cooler effect to it. It almost looks like that one filter we saw earlier. Clarity allows me to make the photo sharper to the right or blurrier to the left, and then Vignette adds a white or black shadowing effect around the middle of our photo that we can use as well. We also have the red eye feature, which is typically used if you're taking photos of an individual and they had that red eye effect on their eye. I'm just going to demonstrate this by clicking the little red button on the astronaut's spacesuit to show you that it kind of dulls that red eye. Also, important to point out, we do have undo arrows within this app. If we made a change that we wanted to modify, we could always press the undo arrow. We also have spot fix. This would be used for fixing blemishes on an individual. I'm just going to touch up the astronaut's face mask a little bit just to make it look a little more complete. And then I'm going to save a copy of that. There we go. And that is the last part of the Edit Image button that we will look at. I'm going to open a new photograph here and show you some other options we have. Now sometimes you have a photo and you just don't think it's worth fixing. And that's the case for this one. My finger ended up in the shot, and so instead of trying to correct it, I'm just going to delete it. I can do that by pressing the trash can icon at the top and then pressing the blue delete button, and that will remove that image. See, I even have a better image that I took right after that without my finger in the shot. If I press this heart button, that is going to add this photo to my favorites. If I navigate back and then click on the Albums tab at the top, there is an album for my favorites. So any photo I click that heart on will automatically be saved to this photo album right here. And then if I go ahead and navigate back to that screen I was just on, I can add a brand new album by pressing the blue box with a little plus sign in it. It will now prompt me to select photos for that album, so I can just click on any photo that I want to add. And once I have all the photos I want in that album, I will press the blue Create button in the top right corner. I can then name my album, and once I have named it, I will press the check mark in the top right hand corner, and that will save my album for me. If I navigate back a screen, I will then see all my albums. There we see favorites and my new keyboard photos album that I just added. Let's navigate back to our collection of photos and take a look at another editing tool that we have. We are now going to click the three dots at the very top, and from there we're going to select Markup. It's the third option from the top. And this tool allows us to draw upon our photo. We have a marker right here. We can change the color of it. I'm going to select the blue. We can also change the thickness of the marker with this slider at the bottom. And then we can draw upon our photo. I'm going to make it look like the blue pen is making this line. We also have a pencil effect we can use, which kind of gives a scratchy graphite effect. Again, we can modify the color or the thickness of that. And if we didn't like how either of these turned out, we have an eraser that we can use. I do want to let you know that pressing the eraser will erase all the ink. You cannot go in and just scrub out little parts. It will get rid of everything you have drawn so far. There is also a calligraphy pen. That's the tool we have right now with a color and thickness adjuster. I just want to show you that you can really mark all over this photo. Sometimes people use the markup feature to sort of highlight different parts of a photo. For instance, maybe I wanted to circle the astronaut and this pen just because I wanted to draw attention to them. And now if I want to save these markups, I will press the button in the far right corner, which is the Save button. And just like everything else, this creates a copy of your photo. It does not modify the original. Let's go ahead and look at another photo. Again, we are going to click on the three dots, and this time we are going to go to the Edit More option. It is the second to the bottom. And we are going to look at Add 3D Effects. These next two features are actually going to convert our photo into a video. We can see by the playing bar at the bottom of our screen, this is now a 5-second video. And what we're going to do in this part is we are going to add 3D effects and animations to our new video that we have. Over on the right-hand side, we have a whole bunch of different 3D animation effects that we can add. I am going to select this confetti blast, and I will just quickly show you what that looks like. There is an audio component to the 3D effects as well, and I can modify these. I can move them throughout my video, moving this blue bar around. Right now it's playing very near the beginning of my photo. I can also rotate this 3D effect. I can rotate it this way. I can also flip it around with this. And I can rotate it clockwise with this. And I can make it larger or smaller by clicking and dragging the corners of this box. I'm going to move this over here, rotate it a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. And you can add multiple 3D animations to your video. So I am going to go and select another one. Let's stick with the party theme and do these birthday balloons. This one actually allows me to change the duration of the effect by clicking this little blue bumper and sliding it. I'm going to make it last the entire length of my video. We hear the confetti cannon, we can hear the balloons bumping around. This could be fun to send to someone on their birthday if you wanted to. So I'm going to save a copy of this. And since it is a video, there are some additional things here. We can save it as high, medium, or low quality. The higher the quality, the bigger the video, which just might make it more difficult to send if you were going to email it to someone. We have additional video options here. When we are ready to save, we press the blue export button. We will then be prompted to name our video and then press export, and that will create a video for us. Here is our new video. The sound is turned off. Let me turn that on real quick and we can play this. And there is our video. Now, when I navigate back to our photo collection, we can see that that is now a 5-second video. There's a little timestamp in the corner. I'm going to show you one more video effect that we can apply to our photos. Let's click this photo of the astronaut on the telephone. I'm going back to the three dots. I'm going to select Edit More, and now I'm going to click on Add Animated Text. In the upper right-hand corner, you can type in the text that you want displayed on your video. You can see right away it appears on our video down there. Let's just give this a view and see what it looks like. It pops the text up, and then towards the end of the video, it goes back down. We have other style options down here. This one is called Joy. It has some fun shape animations that go along with the text. And here we can click and drag these blue bumpers to change the duration of the text during our video. There's another style called Boom down here. There it pops it up, and then it goes away. Besides different styles, we have different layouts that we can use. Here's a giant layout. Here's one with the words at the top of the screen. Here's one with the words on the side, right in the middle. And here's the bottom, and there's the right-hand side. There is what that looks like. We have some other options here as well. At the very top in the middle, there is an icon for motion, and this will apply a motion to our photo as well. Let's go ahead and navigate to that. Here are all of our options. I'm going to select the zoom out to left, and we can see what that looks like. You can see the photo just slowly zooming out over to the left side of the screen, and then our text shows up as well. We also have filters that we can apply to our video in this workspace. Let's try this sort of black and white looking one. And look at that, you can really make a dramatic looking photo from all of these different effects. I like how this turned out, so I'm going to go ahead and press done, and that is going to prompt us to save a video again. I will rename it and then press export. And now we have another new video. Those are all the ways that we can edit photos. I am now going to show you how you can edit a video. We can tell right away that this is an actual video. There is a movement going on. The astronaut is jumping from the stapler to the desk, then falling down. And so now I will show you how we can edit videos within the Photos app. If we take a look at our Edit Image button, it now says Video Trim instead. So if I click on that, it will allow me to shorten the length of my video. If I slide this little blue bumper, it will shorten my video. I can go ahead and modify this video to end right as the astronaut lands on the desk. And it tells us the new total time my video is going to be as well. Let's go ahead and preview this. There we see, that is the new time of my video. I press save a copy, it will save my original, and also show this new trimmed version of the video that only shows the astronaut landing on the desk. There are a couple other of differences with editing videos instead of photos. Let's go ahead and open our original 12-second video again. Now we already saw that the edit button is now a trim button. We cannot rotate, that is grayed out, as our zoom in features as well. We cannot use those on a video. Another new feature we'll notice if we click on the three dots and then navigate to our Edit More option is we now have an Add Slow-Mo feature that we can use. But we're going to look at Add Slow-Mo. And this little blue marker down here is when the slow motion comes into effect. So I'm just going to drag that towards the beginning and show you what it does. At this point, it actually is doing slow motion. It is almost so slow that it looks like it's just freezing the photo. That's what that looks like. We can also actually trim our video in this workspace as well. We can drag the little bumpers at the beginning or end of our video to trim the video just like we did earlier on. Let's have it end right there before he falls down, so he looks a little bit more victorious. And if we found that slow motion to be a little too slow, we can drag this to the middle and it'll be a slightly quicker slow motion. If I drag this little blue line, that will be the duration of our slow motion. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what that looks like. And this is a little bit more what I imagine when I think of slow motion, but I think there could be benefits of using either of those. Let's go ahead and drag so that the slow motion effect lasts for the whole duration of our video. Very nice. Very dramatic. And if I slide that bar all the way to the left-hand side, this is just going to be the normal speed that we had with our original video. There we see that. I am going to go ahead and use that medium slow motion and have it last almost the full duration of our video. And then I am going to save a copy of that. And now we will see our new slow motion video. Just a fun little way to add something special to your videos. And those are all the features of the Windows Photos app that we are going to look at today. We looked at filters and cropping, photo adjustments, markup, and even some fun 3D visual effects that we can add to photos and videos. I hope that you learned something new and that you can try some of these techniques out on photos that you have. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to follow our MCPL 360 Facebook page. We premiere new videos there every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. And if you miss the premiere on Facebook, you can always catch them on our YouTube page. Subscribe to our MCPL Mo YouTube channel and then follow our Consumer Technology Resource playlist. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again. Have a great day.